So this is the file I got from my people yesterday. The social dashboard, the sign up and the login page. So our aim is to make it work together and then infuse some JavaScript into it, and basically some of the things that we've learned, and see how best we can maintain a good structure, knowing fully well that of course you will eventually learn a framework like a React in the next couple of weeks, where you fledge that out with framework. So what we are the point now is using a bare JavaScript. How best can you work with your file, before you begin to use a framework which will standardize your structure. Okay, so the file I got is this, and I actually work with it, but I just did it halfway. So I think it's best that we have a look together what they are. So if you also keep something like this, you know how to put your file together from scratch. So you've got something like this, you have this file, so you have this file like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take them out from the download folder. I'm going to put them somewhere that we can deal with them in isolation. So let's say I just create a new folder and I call it JS projects. So in these JS projects, I paste these guys in there. So I call it my archive that I'm going to delete. So the archive to be deleted is these three guys. So I put them straight into archive, all of them. Alright, so now let's open this guy up in my Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to have, this is the one I was working with that I couldn't finish, so I said it's best we have it together. So let's have add folder to workspace. Then I'm going to put this guy in there. JS project, I guess. JS project. Okay, good. So I trust it. So JS project is here, and you can see the structure they are keeping is login page, the sign up, and like that. So if you go inside login, you will then see index. You have all the assets that are used there, the images, the style sheets, you see everything like that. If you go here again, you'll see repeated images. In fact, this one is keeping image resource folder where images are kept, but you'll see images like this logo is being repeated in multiple folders like that. So when I open the folder, the whole thing looks very huge. So one thing I would say from the image side is that you are going to have to optimize your image that you use on web, because that would impact your page loading time. So like this logo, for instance, one guy's image, Yusuf image, or someone's image, they are very big, almost half MB or something, like almost 600 KB, 700 KB, 900 KB, like that. You're gonna have to optimize the image that you use on web. Keep it minimal, and keep it high res, but then minimal. So that your page is quite light, and you can load fast. So this is the folder they're keeping. In the third folder too, you have another image folder. You have a couple of images there like that. So imagine that you keep this folder structure throughout the whole project. The project is going to get messy pretty quickly, and then of course it cannot be maintainable. and it's going to be high, very heavy. So for us to do that, for us to clean it up a bit, what I'm going to do is that I think it's easier to clean it up right from here than here. So I guess it's easier to clean it up from here. So what I'm going to do will be to come in here. So this login essentially is actually meant to be the first page, if I'm correct. So if we open this guy like this is meant to be their first page. So what we'll do then will be to make this guy really the first page. So we're going to get this out of here and put it in the base as the index file. So of course if we open it now, it will not open well because of the structure. It's because the assets, everything, the CSS is not there, but we care less. So all we care about is the eventual. So here you've got the images, the style sheets and everything like that. So what I'm going to do still will be to copy everything here out, cut them out, and then in the base project I'm going to create a new folder. So let's say I call that assets, and then inside assets, let's say we've got a new folder and I have images. So let's say I have images. I think I'm disconnected. What's going on? Sorry, I got disconnected. Please, I hope you guys are following. This is basic. This is not JavaScript yet. It's just rearranging the whole thing. Hello guys, are we together? Hello guys, are we together? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Nobody is talking. Hello, can you hear me?
We lost you for a lot of couple of time.
But can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me change this network. Hello, are we connected? Oh, wow.
So, Mr. Kenny.
Hello, I'm trying to change my... Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I think I will just keep this network. Okay. So it's still pretty basic. What I was just doing
Recording in progress.
is just folder rearrangement, nothing serious yet. So if you look at it, I've been able to empty what they've got in the login folder. So I don't need this guy again. This the login whatever. Okay, so but then if we open on the file here, so we don't have to reconcile. So in the base we have this guy here, so that our images load the way it should. All right, so right here I've got this guy reference from the asset folder, from CSS folder, style the CSS, like that. And again, this thing that you're doing here is very, very wrong. You need to keep your the name of your image. The name of your image needs to be one word, because here you can make mistake easily, and then you can see images are not loading and all of that, and you are debugging, you're looking for the image. If you look up here, the way you name this image, this setter app space logo, if I come in here and I put double space instead of one space, then that is not the same image I'm talking about. And then keep simple name, the same way you name your variable. Keep simple name, the same way you should name your images and your asset files. They should be findable by their names, and they should be kept simple. So this one here, setter app logo, maybe if you call it app logo, since we're inside the setter app itself, so we'll call this guy app logo, app logo, or app underscore logo if you want, since the name of the file, or app iPhone logo, like that. So that way I can easily use it here. So go inside my assets to look for images, and then check for app logo JPG, and then of course alternate stuff. I can keep it like that. Now, so what I'm doing is just cleaning up and then ensuring that my references are kept like that. So this one is going to be dashboard dot. There will be of course we are going to change this later, but then this should go to dashboard dot HTML, something like that when you're logging. But we're going to put functionality into this login in a bit. That is actually our job, but I also want us to ensure that we keep a clean file. Then this guy is going to be sign up.html, and then you're going to have to keep the same way of naming. So if you want to use underscore something like this, netcales sign up.html, and then this image also, I'm not sure it's one word. It should be kept one word. So you get it from where it should be, images, WhatsApp, something. And please, this, it's best you should have named this what it is. Let me even look for it. This WhatsApp here. So let's say this guy is your founder. So if you call it founder, so you go and change. This is my own file. You name it whatever it is you like. So this guy here, I will name it founder underscore preview. So I've got that, so that I don't use messy name like this. So I have,
Kenny,
yes,
Mr. Kenny, somebody said to zoom in your screen.
I should zoom in my screen. Okay, they can see it, or zoom out. The font size is too small, Abby.
Yes, sir. I think that's.
Oh, okay. What did I do? Is it better now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, good. So, but it seems that one guy is covering. So if I have it like this, founder.png, I guess I've been able to reconcile all the assets. So if we look at the file here right, again, yeah, so it came out the way they built it. So this is not the time to actually review your UI per se. There are a couple of improvements that we need to do on the UI, but since it's still a get together, so please clean up this area. Font size, of course, this needs to be this needs to be bolded, or this needs to be in bold, but then this seems too big, you know. Just clean it up a bit and ensure you have alignment. So I will keep it simple so that we don't have this video unnecessarily long, because it's being recorded, and so that we can reference it you know, subsequently. All right, so what we've done here is that we've been able to centralize stuff a bit so that images are reusable, styles are reusable, and all of that. What you've kept, the structure we kept before, I don't know if that's the actual structure. You know, there's going to be a lot of repetition, and then you've actually killed yourself by violating one of the standards of programming, which is do not repeat yourself. Even though there will be some sort of petty repetition, but it should be kept, you know, at bare minimum. But then, so we've been able to have that index. So pretty much, let's move on to other files. So we've got the sign up. So the next cleanup we need to do is to sign up. So we're going to go into images, and then we'll see the images that are repeated. So that's so this is the logo. There's no need for it to come. This is a logo, the same logo along Ushogo. So this is another person. So the only guy that we need here will just be the along Ushogo. So we'll come in here into the archive, sign up, this guy, images. The only guy we need will be along Ushogo. Every other thing we have in that other place. But I don't know if you're keeping small icon, big icon, because I can see this one is small, 53 by 46, and then this one is 102 by 83. I don't know where you have used them, if they are meant to be different, but then let me keep this. Let me just use this guy here, and so we can use that guy. So we get that guy out, images, put it here, him here, paste it, and then we just remove the name, rename it, and keep it simple. Olorun Shogo will remain his name. His name remain Olorun Shogo if we have to keep Olorun Shogo, but then we'll use simple name, something like that. Okay, so I go straight into archive again to finish clean up with this guy. So the sign up, what I found out actually is that your styles are not centralized. So the styles on sign up is different from styles on this thing. So if we will use the same sign up, the same style, it's going to break. And let's see what you'll see what I'm talking about. So except there is need for it to be different, you can actually keep a centralized CSS that is reusable on multiple pages, and then pages that use specific CSS for some reason, that's where you use that one. So I'm sure Uncle Big Bay would, you know, flesh thing up for you when you guys are doing your React. I'll also be involved a bit. So in here, what was I doing? Okay, this sign up now. So if I get it out, of here and I put it in the base file here so that we can have that sign up there. Now, so this your link should work because we already cleaned it up. That's so let's say you've got this guy here, it says sign up. So you can see the sign up page is broken because the CSS is not in line. So let's look at it. Let's clean that up also. So it will clean that up as well. Where is this guy? Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
I can hear you, sir.
All right, so we are using the style sheet at the this thing. So we have the CSS guy, and then we have the style. You know, assuming that the style is centralized. This is my assumption, but I found out that it's not. So then this guy too. This is the logo. So I don't have to. So I just use the asset from the assets, from the images, app logo, set a app. So let's say we got something like that, and so here create accounts .html. So you can see one index.html was calling the page sign up. This one is calling it create account.html. So there's just a lot of inconsistency. So you're gonna have to keep consistency. You are on sign up page, for goodness sake. So I don't know the need for this create account. This is the is this not sign up page? This is supposed to be sign up page. So you are signing up already. So the link should be already have an account, or you already have account login here. It shouldn't be. So, but I'll see what this looks like on the UI. So I can see create account somewhere. I can see create account again. You know, I'll keep it like that. See another create account, which is terms and condition. So this one here, I'm just going to link this. I won't link other ones, but because they might be bin materials, maybe materials that will be deleted. So you've got login that links to the login, and then this is the Olorun Shogo that we copied that time. So I have the assets, images, and Olorun Shogo.png. So I've got that like that. So, and you can see that what you're having here is just using the width and height ratio of the default HTML tag, which is also not so good. It should be styled, you know, so that it can be responsive appropriately. So you have this like this. So if you come in here now, so this guy should be better now. It's looking better, but then it's still not the way it was meant to be, because a couple of styles are used, but then it has its own specific style sheet. So what I'm going to do then will be, so just so that I don't just waste time writing CSS and writing HTML, which are pretty basic, so I will just do this guy. This is the CSS of the sign up page, so I'll copy that, I'll cut that out, and then put it in the asset, the CSS too. But then I can cut that, so I can just skip the files, or what do you call, paste both of them. No, I've done something that is split. I've done something wrong now. I've done something wrong. So I can get that out. Have that pasted there. So
Yeah, you wrote sing out.
oh, thank
Sing
you.
up.
Sing up. Thank you for paying attention. At least it shows that somebody is paying attention. Sign up. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the sign up page, and probably just use sign up because I know there's a lot of repetition up and down. Sign up.css. So if we check the sign up page, so it looks aligning now. Login still aligned, sign up aligning. So now, okay, this is the guy that you're linking with the sign up with Google, sign up with this one. So if the link is not available, just hash it now. So except you have created this thing. So this one here, so you can just the social media handles, you are going to have to do that with a package. So let's say you have that. You have this. Okay, so that your page, your this thing will not be breaking. So it remains like that. So now this is just clean up. This is not part of our JavaScript thing, but then it's essential for you to have a clean this thing. So if you have here, so the only thing that we have left in this archive folder is the social media, is the dashboard. So I'm going to get that dashboard out, and let's say pretty remote, rename it as dashboard .html. Get it out with this is assets. Put them right here first. So then, because the way you have kept your stuff, I'm just going to rename this maybe as dashboard, but things need to be centralized. Like I told you, centralize a CSS as much as possible, and then just a bit of custom. You have it custom CSS, and then you can have stuff that are, you know, specific to certain page. If you open it now, it's just repetition of classes that you will be seeing there. So but let's keep it like that. Ctrl Z. So I put this guy in this CSS, and then this guy, I'm going to create a new folder and call it JS. I don't know what is inside it, but I know this is JavaScript performance. I'll open it later. So I will put that performance inside JS. So now I have something that looks like it. So now from the login page, if I click on this, it goes to dashboard. So this is what the dashboard looks like because the assets are broken. So what we're going to do is to fix the dashboard as well. So if we fix the dashboard, we'll fix the dashboard this way with its assets. So if I have CSS dashboard that, and then fix up all the images where they should be. I don't know what this guy is. I guess this guy is assets, images, app logo. So all this your icon that you reference, put them aside. So you have what else again? Okay, this Udemy. So we have assets, images. I think Udemy is not here yet. Okay, we've not picked the image of the social dashboard. Its images are here. So let's copy that images, cut them out, then go to the assets, images, have this pasted like that. So I have this guy Udemy. So I can just, since I have something that is common, instead of me having to do this all the time, so I can just do this so that it saves my time. So I'll just say copy, I will just do this. Rename all these guys because there are plenty there and I don't have time to waste. So I'll ensure that I have everything that way. So this is your performance.js. We'll find out what this is later on, but this is meant to be inside JS/performance. So we'll find out later on. So if we look at this now, so there's still some abnormalities I think about the CSS though. So we look at the CSS. Abi, why is it doing like this? Okay.
No, sir, the person is still working on the page.
Oh, okay. So you know that it's not for my hand. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. So one image is missing. This user image.
That's the Udemy image that you wanted to put the other time.
Okay. Is it not there?
No, you changed something. You changed something by mistake.
Huh?
You changed something by mistake in the code.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. See it
assets.
here. See it here. So you see the assets. Okay. I think it's kept as capital U. Still in the file. Okay, so Udemy is here now. Okay. Now, so we've done restructuring. We have restructured Nigeria now. So we can do away with this guy. I think, is it open anywhere? It's open somewhere. Its contents are open somewhere. Where is it open? Okay, I think it's because of this guy. So everything is gone. So pretty much you can just delete the folder. It's because I have it open. I have plenty things open, so I can't waste time on that. Just in your own case. So what we are keeping is just this guy. This guy is not part of our game. This guy is no longer part of our game. I can easily move it out to say desktop. So it's not part of our game. So assets, JS, keep it simple like that. This is what we are having now. So if you look at what we've got, this is what we've got. So the next thing is now to make things a bit functional. Now. So I'm going to go straight into the index.html, this page where we're having the
Mr. Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kenny,
Yes.
please, while making those things functional, please don't forget to mention those things that we have made and the the application, like regular expression that we discussed yesterday,
Okay.
so that they will not know that you are saying it and
Definitely they will, they will have a clue. They will have a clue of what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we look at this that index file now, let me open this with live server now, so it's easier for us to navigate up and down. So if I open that with live server, I also optimize my network, so I don't want to break, so I'm going to turn off this guy. So I think live server is open, or is it not? It's open at 550. So localhost 550. Aha. So we have this guy here, so we can easily go up and down. So when we click here, sorry, turn this guy off, turn that guy off, then open with live server. Cool. So now if you click straight here, the form is just acting, this form is just acting like submit. It's just acting like submit. Okay, when you click there. So what we want to do is to make the form a form and then change what needs to be changed appropriately. So what we're going to do then will be, what you're doing here is of course, because we are just linking pages maybe at that time, so we'll make this guy a form. So I'm going to have input field. So I'm going to have, am I still connected, please? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to have this guy form, so that we can have this guy work like a form. And of course, I think this code is a bit, let me format it a bit, so at least we can see what we are doing. So we have form. Then this form here, I'm going to give it an ID. So ID equals to, maybe I call it a login form. Okay, so I call that login form. So the next thing I'm going to then do is that turn this guy to submit form, submit button. So it works like a submit. These are basic JavaScript, basic HTML, nothing JavaScript yet. So that we can then do this. So if we look at this now, we have this guy working like a, have I saved it? Working like a submit button. Aha, so you can see that it's not going anywhere again. Good. So the next thing we're going to do is that we can write your own, you can write your own JavaScript validation for required, and of course you can use Java, your regular expression to test if the input is an email or not, like that. But since you're writing HTML5, you can take advantage of it, like you say required, and of course this is type equals to email, so you can save your energy for the real battle. So you can say type equals to email, and then you have required here. So this validates that it's required and also validates the types to the email. And then here you say type equals to password, and then this also validates requirements. So let's say we have required. Okay, so right now we have a functional form, though not functional as per functionality, JavaScript functionality, but functional as per as per HTML functionality basically. All right, so the next thing would then be, so you can see this guy here, pretty much working like it should work. If you have Kenny, if you have password submitted like that, so we didn't ask you to do anything afterwards, so we just submit. So if you put something that is not an email like that, it validates itself. This is basic for some of us who have been doing this for years, I know, but of course this is this thing like that. So that is valid. So the next thing we're going to do then will be to ensure that when someone submits, we redirect the persons to the appropriate page to be redirected to. Okay, but then we don't even have users yet. So what we're going to do then will be, let's say we have something like this. Here I create a new file and I call that login.js, and then what I'm basically going to be doing in that file is to get the submitted value here. That's basically what I want to do there. Just get the submitted value from the form. Hello guys, are we together?
Yes, sir.
We haven't done anything so far now, so there's no big deal. Is there? So what I'm going to do, yeah, not at all. So what I'm going to do here will be to get the login details from this form right here. So I'm going to come in here and say that look closely and look closely. What's the name we gave to that form? We gave it login form. That's the ID. So we come in here and I say here, let's say I say constant form, because I have for now, let's say I have only one form. So this is going to be equals to, I'm going to be using PH JavaScript, get element by ID, and then I get that guy form. So let's say login form. Let's say this is how I want to get it. Login form. Ensure that I have it correct. So the next thing I'm going to then do is that I'm going to have my form submitted and get the values that are submitted and then move on to, so I can just say form dot add event listener. So I'm going to add listener to it. So the listener I'm adding will be a submit listener. So I have submit, and then here I'm going to do something, handle the callback to that submit. If this submit is done, so you can use whatever way of you're comfortable. So let's say you have your stuff like this, your arrow function, whatever function that you want to use as your callback. Let's say I'm just writing it here. So let's say I have function, and then we have whatever it is that comes from the form. I call it event. This guy, so right here. So this is still basic for some of us, but I think we are getting there a bit. So this one is to add events listener to the form, and the listener is the submit. The acceptable listener, click, double click, blur, and all over, whatever it is like that. But what makes sense for a form will be, of course, just to maybe submit, and maybe after submitting you want to validate certain inputs. Let's say you are writing your own validation yourself. You check if the inputs are inputs you're actually looking for before you move on to submitting the data to a server, or passing it to another page, or passing it to another page basically. Okay, so let's say what you just want to do here is that you just want to say that if the form is submitted, you just want to do something. Normally the form would submit. Okay, so if you do alert dot something like this, submitted, something like this, yeah. Okay, so if I go back in here and let's say I want to link it this way, so I say scripts, and then here I have src equals to that guy js slash login.html. So you can see here we're handling what happens in this place, there. So if you go back to that your guy, and you do this, you have let's say you put an email that is correct, you put random password, and then you have, so you can see that we're getting submitted here like that. So let's say what you want to do there is straight up you want to redirect to dashboard like you were doing before. So let's say you say window dot location equals to location dot href, or location dot whatever this thing that you want to say equals to your dashboard dot html. So that's just redirects to the dashboard. So you have, let's say you have Kenny, you have a random password here, and you submit. What happened in there?
That's a spin of dashboard.
Huh? I
The
missed
spin
it.
of dashboard.
It's not correct, Abby. Oh, is look at me. Oh, dashboard.html, right? This is how we saved it. Dashboard.html. Okay. So nothing special yet. So what you see here is that this guy is not getting fired. Let me see. Because of the form submission event, I guess. Yeah, so it's the why it's not getting fired is when it's fired, it's not getting to this guy before it actually does what it does. So what you're going to do is that you prevent this guy so that he waits to say prevent defaults, event.prevent defaults, you know, something like this. So what event.prevent default does is that it's default effect of an element, it prevents it. Like for instance, a default effect of a button is to be clicked. So, but when someone clicks on a button, if I don't want it to act like a submit default, then I'm going to have to, if I just say event.prevent default, then it prevents the default behavior of that element. So if I do this right here, it's going to prevent this guy from being submitted so that he gets to this page before it fires whatever it is I need it to fire here. And let's say I want to write some other code, all the validation and all of those things are going to come, you know, right here. So that should be why you're having this. So you have Kenny, you have this guy like that. So you can see it moving now onto dashboard now without issue. So what happened was that when you submit, it submitted, the form got submitted without
recording stopped,
without looking at this guy. Recording has stopped. I don't know why.
I think network.
Okay, fine. I'm actually keeping a local I'm recording locally here. I think that one should be fine. It should be better than that one, but it's going to be pretty heavy. So maybe we might have to even cut in between. So what I'm doing here is nothing special than just redirect. So if you want to redirect between your pages, this is what you just use. I know a number of you know it. So we have window and then location, and you locate it like this. This guy prevents the form from being submitted. So the next thing is now to do the serial to work, which is to do maybe some basic validation, and then before the form is submitted. All right, is anybody confused at this point? Nobody should be. Nobody should be. So let's say here I have a new file and I have validation. Let's say I call it validation.js. Basically, you can see that I'm taking advantage of HTML5 to validate required inputs like that. But let's say you need to do something more serious. Like let's say you need certain pattern that you're looking for, so you guys learned regular expression, then you want to enforce that pattern like that, so you're gonna have to write your own validation yourself. So what I'm going to do here is that, let's say I write a function, so I say function validate. So if I call it validate and I call it the elements I want to validate, the elements to be validated. So I want to write the general validation that can actually be used to validate a couple of things together. So here, if I say or let me call this one is password, or I can call it validate and then use this, but let's keep it simple first. Let's say I want to validate the password because it's the one I'm interested in right now. I want to validate the password, and right here I get the input from the password. So the regular expression for password is what? Let's say you want to have a strong password. So let's say you want to have a strong password. What's the regular expression for it?
I believe it's capital letter, is symbol, and a number.
Okay, so
more than
okay, all right. So let's say I have constant password regex.
Recording in progress.
Password regex to be equals to this. To save your time, I have you covered here. So to be equals to this. So I have this guy, this guy. All right, so this is a regular expression for a strong password right there. So then the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to get the inputs, the value that came from the inputs. So let me get this guy up here so that we can, okay. So let's say I have constant, the elements, the password itself equals to the elements, of course the element that comes, and then we get the value, element.value, that is the inputs or whatever element, it could be text area, whatever it is. Of course we use inputs to get password. So we have element.value, and then I don't want an extra space, so let's say I trim it so that, you know, extra space is removed, and I'm sure that I'm getting the absolute value. So the next thing I'm going to do is to ensure that the value is good. So I'm going to say that if do the tests and say if not, how do you do that? If not, password regs. I need you guys to help me. Tests. Then if I'm testing this password, you know, so this is the regular expression. I'm using that to test what the user key in. So, you know, if it passes, it's going to return true. Otherwise, it's going to return false. So if not here is saying that if this is false, then I'm going to return an error. I'm going to return an error. Okay, so I'm going to return an error. Return error. So the error I'm going to return should actually be in such a way that, you know, I'm able to indicate where the error is happening. You know, pretty much like, okay, this form field, and then I need to tell the user what is wrong. So, but what I'm doing here is not it, but I'm just a bit of, you know, step to it. So I say return error. Now, so I can come in here and, you know, pretty much write the error message here, but I want to write reusable code. What I'm saying is that I can come in here and say that here, let's say I have something like constant. Let's say I have something like this, constant error box or error container. Let's say I have this to be equals to the elements that is given, but the parent node. If I get the parent node, so that's something that is common to both of all of them, dot query selector, and then I select something. So what I'm saying is that here, let's say that in this space here, you want to show the error here. You want to show the error here. You want to show the error here. So you can write something like this and then pass in the error message here. So this is if something is wrong with this password, if it's not strong enough, if it does not contain what you want, and then you want to output the message somewhere below the input file here, right? So something like that. So that's what I'm about to do. So I'm getting the element that is given to me, which is the password, and then I'm using it to get the parent node, which is the form. And then from the parent node, I'm now querying, you know, this element that is next to this guy here, so that I can display its error message right there. Guys, am I still connected or I'm firing blank?
You're connected.
Okay, so let's say that I want to use a standard element. So let's say I use small. So let's say I use something like this. Then if I go back to my validation, I can say that small. Okay, so I get that error box. So the next thing I'm going to do then is just to put a message, whatever message that I want. So I can say the error box or error container or error, whatever name you want to call it, dot inner text. So you can see that you're using a bit of couple of things that you learned. Inner text equals to, so you write password must contain,
Recording stopped.
must be alphanumeric, blah blah blah, alphanumeric, and must be alphanumeric, contains a mix of small and capital. So that is your English. Write it as you like. So write your English as you like. So let's say you have that like that. So that's the message. If this is not correct, let me ensure that this is showing properly. Like that. So the error box, the inner text, is you write your English in there. So like I said, essentially the input field, which is your password field, used to get the parent node, which would the parent node will be the form in this case. Then from the form you can then you have your query selector, and then you get by tag name, which is a small, and then you have that guy right there. So the next thing you're going to do would be to, after that, is to pretty much return false. So return false, but beyond that, I equally want to do something. So I want to say the element that I have. So I have the class name. I want to pass a class name to it, and then I want to pass the class name error to it. I will explain this in a bit, and then you see how this works. And then I'll return false. Return false. So what I've written here is a code that will work, but of course it's I'm not being functional enough. You know, if you look at it, you'll see that it's going to work the way it should.
Recording in progress.
I think Mr. Shams is back, right? Is he back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to then do is that I want to use this file here, that validation. I want to use it in this login file here. So before I do what I want to do, let's say that this is in the same way you guys write code now. Let's say we have it like this. Let's say we have this guy here in this same place where we want to validate, so that we can just call validate. Before, I will now centralize, put it in another folder, and make it reusable elsewhere. You know. So let's say we've got something like this. We've got something like this right here. Please, are we following, please?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you. So if here, what I want to do is that I want to validate first. So I say if validate password, which is in the same folder here, I'm going to take it out in the same file here. I'm going to take it out eventually, which will be the better code. But I'm going to come from host, so the best way, the best practice. So let's say we kept this function in this place like this, and then we are saying that we want to validate the element, you know. So here, let's say the element is so let's say we have constant password field, rather password field equals to the element that you get, the form element that you get, the form element that you got, this form right here, dot elements, and then password, okay. That will give me the password from there. Then the password field, not the password content, because if you look at in this place here, we're having to get the value here. So it means that it's the field that we're getting, you know, is in this validation here is the field that you're getting. So the input field is what it needs. So if it is false, if it is true, then it passes. Otherwise, if it is false, then it's going to return error. Okay, so let's say we've got this guy here. So if the validation passes, then redirect. If validation passes, then redirect. Otherwise, throw the error validation. So let's look at what we've got. All things being equal, if we go back to our, so if we come back here now and put a random password that is not strong enough, and then you will submit. Where is that guy again? So event.prevent default. So if validate password return false, yes. So this should be it. API bucket. Where is the guy? Where is the Sorry. So the login page, I'm not sure I saved this index page. Okay, I think it was saved. So we have the small right here below this guy. So all things being equal, Kenny, password that is not strong, submit. So let me see if there is an error somewhere. So cannot read property of undefined reading value at this page. So let's look at that on the login.js. The elements. So this one is form dot elements. Okay, so come in here in this page here. Sorry, we didn't name this guy, we didn't give it a name. So, and I'm referencing the name, just like me calling Udeme and there's nobody bearing Udeme. So this guy doesn't have a name called password. So I have name equals to password, like that. Or
Sir, there's no equal.
There is no equal to, sir.
so don't mind me, I've not taken breakfast. So so
Recording stopped.
don't mind. Why is it recording stopping? So the name equals to email, so that we can get them like that. Okay, so don't mind me. So this guy would get it. He will get his guy now. So you can see it's that's our error has run away, and then I can have this guy, and then I have this guy. So you can see the error message now showing right here. So this is not showing it as it should. This is where you now need to flesh it out with whatever your style sheet. So let's say you go into one of your style sheets. I don't know, the main one. Let's say this style sheet right here. Assuming I just come in here and just write small, and then you have the color. Okay, color to be red. Okay, and then font size, so that the font size is minimal. Font size, let's say we keep it smaller or extra small, or we just keep it small like this, so at least we can see what is going on. We can see what is going on there, and then you can style it the more, padding, whatever stuff like that. Those are your basic CSS thing, you know, just do it. So you can see this guy here, if the password is not strong enough, he kept doing that. But also what I want to do is, if you inspect this guy here, you can see that, you will see that it has a class name called error. This guy, if you inspect that element, you will see that it has a class name called error here. This, what is passing that class name to the error is what you did here. What you did here in this your validation. Where is it? Where you say class name, element or class name equals to error, like that. But you are not doing anything with it. So if you want to also mark that this field somewhere like red bordered like that, so you can just also do that. So let's say we do this same place. Let's say we create an error class, and then in the error class we just say border. We just have border, and then let's say the border is 2 pixel or 1 pixel, solid, whatever this thing, and then we make it red as well. Something like that. So that way our guy will also be our form that is not correct will also be in red, like that. And if you want to validate this thing that is this thing, you want to make it success, if you want to pass border green into it, feel free and do it. So I just want to keep this minimal. I don't want it to be too much. I don't want to keep you guys too much also. I don't want to also keep you guys waiting too much as well. All right, so we've got that. So I said this way of coding is not good. What we've done here is that we'll pass this function here, and then each time I need to use, if I need to use this validates password, let's say in my sign up page and in any other places, like also I have to find a way to import maybe login and all of those things. So what I'm going to do is that this guy will go back to his original position. This guy will go back to his original position. Where is it? Aha. This function dot this thing here. I don't want to use it like this. This is the essence of this material. So I don't want to use it like this. I want to keep it like this. I want to keep it like this. But then I want to use it in this place. Even this validation here, I want to make it reusable. So I don't want to keep this this function inside function like that. So I would prefer that I have something like this. Guys, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I would prefer that I have another function that is showing error or show message. Function show message. So let's say that function show message, its job is this. Let's say his job is this guy here. Or let me say show error, so you don't abstract too much. So if I say show error and then I get the elements, get that guy error message, and okay, so show error from an element. Okay, so this guy can just be this, something like this. So here what I'm going to just do here will just be show error. So I can use that show error in another function. Let's say I'm validating something else, so this guy can also be useful. But then let's say here, since I want to use it elsewhere, I don't want to add code this error message. So this one here, I can then have error message, so which will mean that this guy will be the error message. So that I can reuse this guy here. So here I'll pass in the elements that we've got here, and then pass in this error message. Control Z, this error message right in here. So I can use that to, like this. So this guy can be used in several other places where I have to catch error, and then I'm using that here. This is better, but better still is that where we need it, we don't have it yet. We don't have it in this page yet. So what I'm going to
Recording in progress.
What I'm going to do is to bring it in. I don't want to bring I don't want to write it this way, come in here, and then I don't want to write it this way, even though I can. So come in here and import another script, and then have source, and then say js/validation.js, I don't want to do it this way. So even though, you know, I'm permitted to do so, you know, but if I have multiple things to import, multiple things to use here and there like that, it's going to be a problem. So what I'm going to do then is that I'm going to get this out like this, then go back to my validation. So I don't need to export everything. So I'm going to export this function so that I can use it in another JavaScript file. So I'm just going to come here and I say export. So when I export this, this becomes a public material. This guy is not exported, and then it's going to be used within here alone. So when you say export here, this function becomes importable. It can be imported in another JavaScript file. So I come in here now, and then I say that here I use exes imports. I can import plenty things. So I import validate password, and automatically it helps me to do this, you know, to import it from validations. Then I can then use the validate just the way it's used here. So if you do this, you're going to get an error. If you do this, you get an error like importing outside module error. You're going to get that error. So let's run that. So if you run it, I think you should, before even calling it, so you see the console, you can see this console here. You see on code syntax error, cannot use import statement outside a module. You cannot use import statement outside a module. So what you're going to do is that you come in here and make this type equals to module. Type equals to module like this. So then
Recording stopped.
Then you can see that when we have this guy module, it's now saying that validation is not found, because this guy here, what's that guy again? This guy was imported using CommonJS standard. This guy was imported using CommonJS standard, which is the Node.js standard. You know, because with CommonJS standard, you don't need the fully qualified name of that file, you just need its name. But if you're using a module, which is the exe standard, you're gonna have to use this guy here, like this. So validation.js, which is referencing his friend here. So if you look at that, right here, you can see that guy error has disappeared. So all things being equal, things will still work the same way it worked the first time when we put rice and beans together, put everything together like that. So if you look at it here like that, so let me see, probably certain thing is being thrown. Console, do we have our file saved? Validate password. So the validate password.
Recording in progress.
The validate password is this. Show error. The elements. The elements and what? Validate password. I hope we have saved this. Let me check again. Just be sure that we've saved what we need to save. Aha, I think I didn't save that time, so like that. So you think this works pretty much the same way, but you can see how mature your code is becoming. You can see how mature it's becoming a bit. It's coming of age more and more. It's coming of age more and more. Like that. So what you've been able to do here is that you've been able to centralize you modularize. So you read yesterday when someone is talking about module, so you've been able to modularize your code and then use it in a number of places like that. So what you've done right here is that you've created a login form that is validated, you know, and then if this thing is well validated, let's say you write a password that will pass that rule, then your where is that guy again? So if you write what did we say you should do? So if validate password, otherwise return true, otherwise return true, so that it will not continuously return. So this here, if this is otherwise this returns true, so that it's allowed you to go when things are correct. So you have stuff like this. So let me write a password that is correct. So I do this one like this. So it took me straight to the dashboard because that password is correct. Now the thing is that this login is just a basic login, you know, we are not keeping it. So what I want to do quickly will be to make this sign up form functional, so that someone can sign up. You don't even have sign up form.
Oh, I've not seen it. That was
Oh, no problem. I will just create one simple sign up form here. There's no so I'll just simply do this. You convert this login form to sign up form, and basically use it under your sign up page. Join Setter Hub today. Okay, so I'll just basically put it right here. So this one I'm going to call it sign up form, and you're signing up. Let's say you're signing up with an email, with a password, with your full name as well. Full name, or let's say first name. So let's say I have this, say this one is last name, like this. So okay, so let's say we got this guy like this, email, password, possibly you do confirm password, type equals to password, name equals to C password, confirm password, placeholder, password again. Basically, so you have that. So you can see the essence of centralization. They don't have this guy here. I have to call this the form they use on that style.css. so that this guy can be like that form. So then this guy here, okay, it's already there. It's just that I think there's conflict of interest also. So I'm going to take this, all this your guy away. I don't know. Okay, it's there, sir. It's there. So sign up, or you put it together, or register, whatever. So I know for some of you this is not new, you guys already, but it's just for the benefit of everyone, and I'm quite sure that you guys will also pick one or two things even if you have done it before. So please keep an open mind, as I always said. There'll be one thing or two things to pick. So you have type equals to text, this guy like that. Okay, so we'll make this guy work like that guy works as well. Right now we are not handling the submission, so we want to handle the submission so that we can save that guy to the local storage. We want to save it to, once someone submits, we just save that guy to the local storage, then we can then know who can log in or who cannot, so we can validate from that place. So we can put things together, put it even more together. Okay, so right here I'm going to have create a new file. Sorry, I'm the only one that is permitted to copy and paste. Don't copy and paste. I'm the only one that is permitted to copy and paste. So you have,
Yes, sir.
thank you. So you have sign-up.js. So you have sign-up.js. So I just quickly do this, and here this one is sign up form. Sign up form. I don't know what name we call it. Let me be sure. Let me be sure of the name. Sign up form, just in case sometimes I make mistake I have typos, so to be sure they are exactly the same. So when submit form is submitted, we want to undo it ourselves. So what we want to do is to get what is coming and validate. First we want to let's say we want to validate confirm password and ensure that it's equals to password and confirm password matches. So let's say we've got password field to be this, and then you've got this guy here, confirm password field to be C password. So you know that this one is assuming that they have names. It's assuming that your fields have names, so you can have name like that. So the name that they have is what we're calling them with. So if you have that guy, so you can just compare these two guys here. So if this guy is not equals to that guy, so you can maybe do an alert or show error. So you can say if this guy here, password field dot value is not equals to C password field the value. Probably you want to show an error. So if you want to show error, it means that if you want to show this error here, it means that you are going to export this guy as well. If you want to use this show error, you're going to have to export this guy as well if you want to use it in that place. So if you export this guy, then you can import it here. So both of them are coming from that place. So you can, here you can show error. So here I have show error, and I show error on this element. Which of the element though? Which of the element though? So here you're gonna have to specify if it is confirmed password that you want to show elements the error on. So you have this guy here, you have this guy here, confirm password, show password here. That's the element. Then the error message, password mismatch, or whatever name you want to call it, whatever English you want to write, is your English, you write. Then that also means that in your sign up dot this guy here, you're gonna have to provide placeholder for this guy. So okay, you can keep it like that. Okay, now so if that form is submitted, all things being equal, we want to check this guy first, and then this guy, and then we also check the password strengths, you know. Then if that is cool, then we're gonna have to, if this is cool, then maybe we would save the file, save the record. That's what we're going to do. So here what we're doing here is that you check or compare C password with password, and this one validates strengths. So whatever. So in the spirit of putting things clean. Alright, so this can still be better, because all this one you can put them into validate and use them as validates. You can still abstract them further, but let's keep it like this for now. Okay, so if we do this one like this, if this form is submitted, this is going to happen like that. Okay, so on this page, then let's say we bring in it's JavaScript, so it says scripts, and here is source equals to JS sign up.js, sign up, what's that mean? Sign up.js, like that. All things being equal, you can have something like this. So and then here, let's say you probably, okay, let's keep it like that first. So let's say we have this one to be password. This one is password 1. So sign up. Let me see. Something horrible has happened. So refuse to apply style this thing because it's mine type. Widescreen. I saw one widescreen that's I can't. It's not even on. Why did you guys get this widescreen?
It looks as if it's their media query.
Yes, I can see, but it's not there. It's nowhere to be found. So this guy here also, we didn't import it with a module. We didn't import it as a module. So here we say type equals to module. Like I said, module is the standard for ES6 standard. So their media query is horrible. So let's say you've got something like this. You have password, and then this one is password 1. So you can see what we've got here. This one here. So this is because we are basically throwing this guy here. So password must contain this guy. So let's say I return this guy in my validate. Where is it? In this page where we are doing this stuff here. In this page where we are doing stuff here. So let's say instead of let's say we are passing the error into an array and then showing the error, looping through the error and then just showing the error just at the top of the page, or we want to just show one error at a time. I'll leave you guys to do that. So if I say return, so it means that you should stop. You shouldn't even go further to this next this thing. Of course, you know that. So this return, or I say return first. So it returns like this, like that, and then it moves on to the next. Okay, this guy is already returned first. This guy already returned first. Then if I return it like that, then you move on to the. This guy returned first. Then if you return, of course, you know what return means is that stop execution, and then it stops execution. So let me keep it like this for now. I don't want to cause more this thing. So what I was saying is that you could put this guy as validation. You can still optimize it further, put it as validate, and then use it together. So instead of calling it one after the other, you can just come here and validate, and then say if validates, then you can just move on. Otherwise you throw the error. So it's a bit cleaner. So if you want to go that route. We are staying too long here, so let me move on so that we can get to at least a place of a notable place before we hang up. All right, so the next thing I want to do really is to actually save that guy. I want to save the record to local storage, and then use it to log in the user and then show his record on the dashboard. It's a fini. So that's I want to do. I would do this, and I would say that I'll call create another file. So let's say I create another file and I call that guy constant dot JS. What I want to do here is that almost everything that we need here and there in JavaScript, I just want to keep them here. I call it common.js. Some people call it common.js, constant.js, default.js, whatever it is you want to call it. This is my own this thing. You have constant.js. Then in the constant.js, what I want to do there is basically to set the data to local storage, get data from local storage, clear stuff from local storage, and all of that. So I'm going to just do a function that I'm going to expose. So I'm going to create a function. I want to abstract the normal function. Maybe I want to abstract it, of course, and then you can just say, so function set data, or so set data. Now in the set data, what I want to do is that, you know, I want to do this guy here. Use local storage for now, since you don't have a real-time storage. Dot, you know, set item. You know, when you're setting item, you need two things. You need the key, right, and the value that you're setting. So let's say you have the key and then you have the value. So what I want to do really is that I want to make it dynamic. So I just have my own key and then my own value, like that, so I can use it elsewhere. But right now, let me just keep it. Let me not even go that route. Let me just say register. Because there's really, let me do it. Someone might learn from me. So here, the first thing is the key. The second thing is the value. So set data, I use this key and the value like that. So in my implementation, you won't see local storage or set. You will just be seeing set data and whatever function you call it like that. And then of course I'm going to have it exported so that it can be used in another JavaScript file. So I have it like this, and then I have get data, key, like this. And here you have local storage dot get item.
Key is not spelled correctly.
Thank you, Madam Derek. Key. So we have this like that. So let's say this is equally exported so that it can be useful. There's no need that you have something that is not useful, so you make it useful. So let's say we have that, and then let's say you also write whatever it is. Clear data or remove item, something like that. So clear item and all of that. So you can deal with all those basic stuff. So I've given you pointer. So you have set data, get data, like that. So in this sign up form here, what I want to do is that I'm going to just write a function that say do register, and then do register basically just basically set the data like that. So what I'm going to do better still here is to import set data, get data, get data, I guess. Get data. Okay, correct. So import set data, get data from this guy here, from constant.js. Okay, so here I'm just going to just then save whatever it is that comes in. So let's say that I want to save it like this. You can just look through and get because this thing, the form is an object, but let's keep it simple like this. First name field, I'm having to carry, you can pass it and the value at a time. I'm having to do that because you may want to validate it using your validator and all of that, and then so you can just do this. I'm having to do this one after the other. So I just do this first name. So because you know your application is full of forms, so this should help somebody, I'm sure. We have this guy, last name field, I guess that's what we need. Okay, email field, that's all. So if your form has small,
Name is not spelled.
huh?
Your last name is not spelled correctly.
Thank you, my brother. So email field, so let's one is email. So if you've got something like this, then you say constant reg data equals to this. Let's say you have your first name to be equals to first name field dot value whatever, and last name is last name field the value. I'm breaking it down like this so that there's no wuru inside, but you can just write a single form and get all the elements at a time. So but let's do it like this. It's email you have this, and then so you've got that to be email field the value. Okay, so basically that, okay, password so we have password field the value. Now you take this guy, all of them after the validation. So if this validates, if this is not validates, do this, like that. So down here let's say this is where we have the registration that I'm going to also abstract because this is too much on this page. Then what I want to do here is basically set data. So I just call set data, and then the key is, because I want to use it several places, the key is, let's say I call it users, and then the value is this reg data here. But don't forget that you need to stringify what you're putting in here. So you can just stringify it in space here. You have your JSON dot stringify, so that you turn it into a string, that guy into a string, before you save it to the storage, so that when you get it, you get it as it is. So we just use that set data, that's that way. Then what I was saying is that this guy could actually be put out. I said we pull this guy off. Where's that guy? So if we pull this guy out, and we write another function, let's say here or anywhere else, as you, let's say I keep writing the same, so which, you know, I started with function, so I want to keep that style. So register. So here, let's say you have your elements, like this, or the form. Okay, I can even pass, because we didn't use, we're using the form direct. We're using the form direct. So let me just use the form. So though the form is in the global scope here, you know, so what that means is that I don't even need a parameter. So here, if this works, then I just call register. Like that. So if this validation works, we just call register. I think we've been 2 hours on this call now. So all things being equal, that's why I wanted to actually record, so I don't keep you, but I think it's worth it if it's worth it. But it's you to tell me if it's worth it. So I'm just going to go straight pass temp pass 123 is a password I'm sure that will pass. So temp pass 123, all things being equal though, all things being equal. Oh, we didn't say anything if the registration is successful, so we should say something if the registration is successful. Where is the console? Password field is not defined. On line 10. Oh, I've cut out everything. See me, oh, I've cut out all this guy here. See me so well. So password field and confirm password field. They were defined here, and is the one we're using for validation. So if we have to do that, then we can just put the fields. So just rearrange this register, this thing, because this is a repetition of this guy here, which is not needed. There's a repetition of them here. Yeah, that is not required because you already declare it here. So you can just pass that into your menini. So let's say I pass this guy password, because I don't really like repetition. So this guy that declare up, I don't want to declare him again. I just pass him as a password field. I just pass in the password field. Then use it like that. I don't need it again. So you can clean up further so that it looks even better. So again, if the registration is successful, would do, you can do say alerts, registration successful, or you can use suite alerts. Registration successful, and then you can maybe redirect in 2 seconds. So maybe you set timeout, this guy here, and you redirect to window.location equals to your index.html. So maybe that's redirect in 2 seconds. So set timeout is to delay an action for a period of time. This is the time in seconds for some of us. So you have window.location.this, and then this goes like that, registration successful, and then redirect to login. So redirecting, so you can write whatever, redirecting in 2 seconds. So you can have something like that, so at least we know when things has worked, we can be redirected. So let's say we've got something like that, and the password is temp_pass123, temp_pass123. So you can see registration successful, redirecting in 2 seconds. Password mismatch. Index.html, is that index.html not correct?
I don't think the location you gave.
No, there's no T. There's no T in here. There's no till in the HTML. You get? There's no till in the HTML. That was why. It's just redirected to HTML. So this should be the redirect. But then, if you then look for this guy here, if you look for the application, depending on which browser, I think this guy put his own in the inside application. So you can see it here. Application users, this key that I've just saved here, you can see it. The name, the first name, the last name, the password. So if another user registers, you will see him right there. So this so you have this guy. So let's register another user. So we can have, the more the merrier. So let me say I have Jamal. So I have this guy should be temp_pass123. I have this guy to be temp_pass123. So this condition here, you can see that it threw this error that time. So we have this guy, because this guy and these guys are not changed. So let me check this one first, and then check this one first. Check this one, chainable like that. It means that both of them are not going to be checked at the same time. This guy will be checked, and then this guy will be checked with the if. With this guy here. So he doesn't have this guy. He doesn't have an house fallback. So you can clean that up. So you have let me register with that person. I call that person, enter first name. Let's say I have Shams, and the last name, see, enter last. Please put that correctly. Let's say that one is Aderoju. So let's say I have this one to be shams@u.com. Password, let's say we have temp_pass123. Then here we have temp_pass123, and then we have this save. This password is the same, is it not? Password dot value, see password. Oh, can you imagine? Dot value, so I can even keep them separate the way it was kept. See password dot value, please. Nobody is following. It seems I'm doing this alone, so I can validate. Huh? You didn't notice? It's really because I think we wrote it. I think we wrote it as dot value. I don't know at what point it changed itself to, maybe when I was doing something. So so let me keep Mr. Shams, and password, let's say we've got pass123. Register, you can see registration successful, redirecting in 2 seconds. Then in 2 seconds it redirects. So if you want to do some sort of animation in between and entertain your user, feel free and entertain. Well, I'm not here for entertainment. So if you come here, we go to application, right? So we can see that we have 2 users. If we go to users, what we have now is users replacing the other, you know. So what we're supposed to do really was to actually pass that as an array. So what you have here is Shams replace the other user, so you can only have one data set to a memory location at a time. So what we're going to do here is that instead of saving this like that, so we're going to, you know, just put this guy and save it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get the old so here, let's say from here, get existing users, which will be get data with users key. So if I do this, so say let users be equals to this. Now that's the existing users. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to check if the users if this user is undefined. So I'm going to say users equals to undefined. In this case here, because we have, let me show what I'm talking about. Let me try to get user XYZ that is not in the memory. Then let's say we want to alert it. We want to alert that guy. So we say alert users. So we'll do this guy here, alert users. You will see that it's going to be undefined because there's nothing like that in the storage. So let's say that we don't have to submit the form to see that. Let's just put it outside so that we don't have to submit to have a feel of that. Let's just go back to the sign up. So you can see that it's undefined. So I know it's basic, but I just always overdo sometimes. So let's say we have that guy here. users. So the first thing we want to do is that we want to set the users value appropriately. So users equals to undefined. If user is equals to undefined, so this is using your ternary operator. If user is equals to undefined, then set users to be an empty array. Otherwise, do what? JSON.pass JSON.pass users, because you already turn it into a string. Here, when you are saving it, you turn it into a string. So when you're getting it back, if you want to get it back and manipulate it as an object, you're gonna have to pass it as JSON. So get the existing data, set value appropriately, and then what you then do here is that so this one you can call it existing user, whatever, or you call it like that, or you call it users. So what you're going to then do here is that this registered data that you are saving directly here, you are going to push it. So you are going to have users.push. So you're going to push this registered data into it, so that you have that as an array. So, and then what you are saving then would be users object, users array, not just the single object. So this will have been added to the existing ones if they exist, otherwise like that. So now,
sorry sir.
Yes.
Sorry sir, initially there is no array of data there before. What there is like an object of data that you have specified. So in this case now,
yeah.
like Mr. Champ's name is already there.
Yeah, so what I'm going to, I want to now, thank you for that. So you are very, what's Chukwebuka? I think I can't see you, but I know your voice. That's Chukwebuka now. Is that not Chukwebuka? Hello, Chukwebuka. Can you guys hear me? Hello, can you guys hear me? I know it's you. So what Chukwebuka is pointing out is very valid. You know what you have here is an object, it's not an array already. So we're assuming, this guy here is actually assuming that what you are having in the storage is an array. You understand? That's what this guy does here. Assume that what you have is an array, so that you can just continue to push to it. That's the assumption. So what he's pointing our attention to is that if we run it like that, like this, there's going to be a problem, because you cannot push an object to an object. You understand? Though array is also an object, technically. But what he's saying is that you cannot push into this place like this. The assumption is that this guy is an array, the way this thing is, so that we can push to it. But what we've got initially is actually an object like this. So what I actually intend to do after here, because we're just writing like this. So what we're going to do is this. Look at this. I'm going to get this guy off. What's happening? Refresh. It has gone. So so that you can see what we're talking about now. So if you have this guy, users of push, users data, set new data, and then say that registration is successful, whatever. So you have this, and we have the Mr. Sham's record. So let's look at stuff. I guess there's an error somewhere. Is not valid JSON at this. So this guy here is what is throwing the error. So users equals to undefined. I think the undefined came basically like, let me see this. It came like this, I guess. So because of the way it's so let me have that guy. So you can see it's saying registration is successful now, and then it's redirecting. Then if we go to the application and go check what we've got in the story, we've got user, and then we have an array. Then let's register another user. Let's register another user like that, and then we can then log in. It's been a day. So we have this guy temp pass 123, temp pass 123, and then you have this saved, redirecting, redirected, boom. Then if we look at the storage, the local storage, where is that guy again? Application, users, users. So you've got what's happening?
It's still removing the former one.
JSON.pass users.push. This guy, I'm coming. I guess this is what you've got. Refresh this guy here. So you have this guy pass this guy users dot push. So I want to user equals to this, user equals to undefined. But still, this is good. This is okay. This is okay. If this is undefined, make it empty. Otherwise, alert what you've got. So kind of tired, I don't know what is going on here. So let's save this and let's see what this guy brings up. So it's empty. It's empty here. Get data. Oh, let's see. It seems, let's see, the problem is probably from here. local storage.get item. We didn't return anything, so let me say yes, this is supposed to be return this guy. So
also return the set data.
The set data works because we are not, you know, we are not getting its value here. Where is this guy?
Okay.
We are not listening to it when we set data. Where is it? We are not listening to its feedback, so it's okay. Except if we need to listen to its feedback, then we listen to what it returns. So that is that guy here. This is the source of the problem. So this guy, this is debugging problem, debugging this thing that shouldn't. You can take that out. So if you do this, or okay, let's still ensure that it works before we run it. So assuming that we just take this out to, we just take this, what am I doing? Sorry. Assuming we just take this out to the field, like this, so that we don't have to submit to have a feel of it. So I'll just go straight into sign up. Empty. Oh, and these people are JavaScript developers. These people that are with me are JavaScript developers. Look at what we've written here. This is equals to you guys are here, and you can see this is equals to this what we wrote before wasn't correct. Now that's not this thing, so we are assigning value, and then here we are testing if this is equal to undefined. I think its default undefined should even be the guy.
So if you remove formal user, the equals to the formal user.
Equals to the formal users.
Like you know, users equals to users equals to equals to.
Yes. There's no need for. I'm reassigning the value. I'm reassigning the value of users. Then I'm testing the existing value of users. You don't understand?
No, sir, I don't understand. Please, I can't do.
This one here could have been any other variable. This could have been, I can call this one existing user. Existing users, you know, equals to these users here. I'm asking if that user is
double N.
Thank you, sir.
Instead of ing.
Thank you, John. Thank you. It's old age. So existing users, existing users equals to, now this one here is this users here. So I'm asking if this users up here is undefined. If it is undefined, then these existing users would be empty array. Otherwise, it should be a JSON.parse of that user. But what I actually want to do is to change the value of these users. I don't want to declare multiple variables like that. So I'm changing, just like you were saying, a equals to 10, and then you say a equals to a plus 2. You know, it's nothing different from what we have done here. So this guy, we are using it to compare, but we don't want to create another variable. It's the same variable, we change its content. But if it's going to cause,
Okay.
if it's going to cause problem, let me change it. Or let me change it. Let me.
Yes, sir, if you can, yes, somehow.
So
Is that
I understand. So let's say let existing users be equals to this, and then I can then pass this guy like this, like this. I can then pass this guy like this. So this way we'll see what happens. So it's not the existing user that we got as a string value. If it's undefined, we'll do. So let's see what the guy says. So now you can see that it's now his head is now correct. So now that his head is correct, we can then. So it was actually my fault, and nobody. I know you guys are also maybe tired. They are not paying attention because ternary this thing that we wrote wasn't correct. So let's take that out to his rightful position. I hope I have not deleted something that I'm not supposed to delete. Where is that guy? Up here, get existing data, set the value appropriately, then push to new value, something like that. Simple, straightforward, nothing special. Let me take this to 1 second because I think it's taking too long. Oops, this is 12 o'clock. Alright, so we do this, then we have this guy to be temp pass 1 2 3, and let's say this guy is temp pass 1 2 3 as well, and then we'll say register. There is an error somewhere. Users.push. Sorry, existing user. We have changed it to existing users. So this guy is now existing users. Dot push. JSON.stringify existing users. So something like this. Sorry that we are running into. So we have that term pass 1 2 3, then pass 1 2 3. Save, saved, done, and dusted. Now if you check your application, then provided there is no people from village again, this should be, you can see we have 2 records now. Oh, it's Lukman. So what you're supposed to now do in your own part is to check if that data exists in the data storage, in the local storage first. So if the data exists using your either find or filter, if the data exists, you say record already exists. Otherwise, you register. So what I'm talking about is that it will say confirm unique. Let's say I write a function, and I think I'm spoiling you. I should allow you to write this one, but let me just write this one. It means that you will do your function confirm unique or check unique.
Are we almost done, sir?
Yes, we are. We're almost done. So check unique email, because email that we're going to use. Check unique email address. So I'm going to use that. So I'm going to say pretty much what we did here. You get existing user. Let users in the database be this. So, but then you pass it JSON.pass. So, but you can have issues if that is it. So if you have users, just like we did here, let's do the same thing. I have my reason. so that if you are the first user, you'll still be able to go through. So if let existing users go to this like that, so it means that you can just abstract it instead of copy and paste. You can abstract, since this is used in multiple blocks. So we can then say that existing users dot find, so find x, find user such that user dot email equals to email. Or you can use any other function that you just check directly, you know. But let's say I use find and I just say if I use find, let's say I say found equals to existing distinct of find equals to, that's your array method. So you can then say if found is undefined, return true, otherwise return false. So you can do this, or you know, when you have this existing user which is an array, if you have, let's say existing user was actually an array, just like you have it as an array like this, you know, you can use any other function, any other of your array function to check if it exists without having to write it in multiple lines that I've written like this. But what you've learned, find, filter, whatever it is, you can just use, right? So if you have this, if found is undefined, because if it is not found in the what's it called, in the list, is going to return undefined, otherwise it's going to return what is found. So you say find, so if it's found, so if this goes to undefined, return true, otherwise return this, and then you can confirm uniqueness here. So before you register the user, so here you can confirm uniqueness. What do I do? So you can have, hello guys, are we still together? I know the law of marginal return is setting in. I'm aware.
So I just confirmed the link that is still, like, if I don't know if you can refresh it again, like we didn't really grasp.
Okay. Now the confirm unique is here, is to check. I want to ensure that I don't have multiple records. You know, in the standard system, you shouldn't have, just like you have here, where you're having the same person with the same email registering twice. You want to ensure that if you have registered before, you can't register again. So what you do is, you first of all get the existing data that is existing, because this is your local storage now. So you get the existing data, but you know it's a string. So what you're doing here is that you are trying to check if it is the first record, because if it is first record, this is going to return undefined, kind of, and so you set it to be empty, and you can just continue. In fact, you don't even need to do this guy here. So if this guy is not empty though, and that's where you then this is an array function, and you guys learned that find, filter, all these things. So you say the existing user dot find. In the existing user, you are finding this one here represent each object in the existing user, which can be anything. You could represent it with X or Y, whatever name, but I just represent it with the user. This represent each user, such that the email you are looking for in this record, someone whose email matches this new email of the user that is about to register. If there is no match, if there's a match, it's going to return that record. If there's no match, it's going to return undefined. So if it returns undefined, it means that there's no match. It means that that record doesn't exist before. But then if there's a match, then it's going to return that record with its full name, other name, like that. And that's why I said it should return false. So return true, allow the person to go. It means that the person, there's no record like that. And I say return false. It's a matter of how you want to handle this confirm later on, that you use that. I hope that is clear a bit.
Yes. That means that according to what you said, that line 61.
Yes.
If in line 60 there's no array before, it's just going to the found is going to be undefined.
Yes.
And then at that it's going to now return true.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any other person needs clarification? Does anyone else need clarification? So,
hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we get the video of this session?
Of course, definitely, you will get it.
Thank you.
That's the essence now. If you don't get the video of this session, so you'll get the video of this session. So you can then use this confirm password. I think I can even leave you to use it yourself. Find a way to use it. So here, you can come here just if you want to confirm uniqueness. Uniqueness. So you say if confirm unique, which is the this guy here, then this email field. This email field dot value. So that's the guy I'm going to tie this thing to. If this register so I'm going to do this here. So if confirm that if this unique, then otherwise alert user exists, or whatever it is that you want to alert. So guys, I think this is where so if you have so you can see it's saying user exists because I'm registering with the same user email. So if I change this a bit to Shola So all things being equal, this should register. Let's see. Okay, I think here the email, the register now should be here. Email field. Where is the confirm email field? So this guy here should be here, because we have moved it, so we should have email field here as register. You can have email field as haha. So you can have that guy like that. So if you have something like this, so you can see user exists, then I change it to another user. Let's say Shola, and then I register, and then you say registration successful. So you can see it's now, it's getting it 2 times, I guess. The confirm is being done 2 times, so you can see. So if you check, so clean up the code. This thing, what I want to mention something quickly before I finish up. So if you have your code modularized this way, then it's important that you can take advantage. You can take advantage of other modules that, you know, some people have created by using like a package.json, and then you can use npm to, you know, I don't mean you unnecessarily loading your project with stuff that are not necessary, but let's say you want to use cool stuff that is already existing in an npm market. So you can just quickly, you know, take advantage by just doing that. What I'm saying is that you can do that by doing this. So let's say I have this guy, I have this guy here. This is our code, this JS projects. Sorry, Control C. It says CD. So let's say I have this guy, and I just quickly make it npm init. I know you guys, some of you already know how to do this, but like I said, so I just say the name of the project is JS walkthrough. I can accept it. Version 1. Description, JavaScript walkthrough. Entry index.html test. Let's say I just say npm test, and then git repository say to be determined later on. Keyword JavaScript, author Shams, license, we make it open like this, ISC. Is this okay? Yes. Good. So this way now, it just even got better. So you have your projects like this, so you can easily take advantage and let's say install certain stuff with npm and import it in any page that needs that, you know, straight up here, and then make use of it wherever you want to use it. So thank you guys, and I appreciate.
Sorry,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. In this method now you just use, that means now we are putting all these things like packages, and then we include them in the package.json file, and then anytime we need them in any of the ones, you can just get it from the package.json, or just get it directly.
No, you get it directly. The package that you have documented in the package.json are the external guys. You understand? External packages that is not your own. You don't need to put it here. You can you do you understand? For instance now, listen. For instance now, let's say I want to, we are using live server, right? We're using live server to serve this guy from the VS Code, whatever. Let's say you want to get your own server. You understand? Let's say, no, that's just an example. It's not okay. Listen. So let me say I install. I say npm install HTTP. This is an example of an npm package. If you go to npm.js, npm.js, you will see anything there. This is a market of packages. I know some of you who are already writing React and all of those things know this, but just to refresh. So if you come here, am I disconnected? Guys,
No, sir.
if you come here now, anything you are looking for, almost anything you are looking for is here. Let's say you are looking for email package, email validator. You can see it here. Instead of you writing I don't want you to be lazy and be using, maybe I'll do. So you can see, like, this is an email validator that someone already packaged. You can see it here so there are several email validator which validates emails. This is JavaScript, npm.js. So let's say you want to use this package instead of having to write it yourself, but you be careful of what you install, and also you need to look at the last time it was maintained. You can see last published 4 years, and so you can look at it. It's not saying it's special. This is just an example. So this can help you validate an email instead of you validating it yourself. Or let's say you're looking for password validator instead of having to write it yourself. All those things are you write. So npm modules actually is a way of you not rewriting what is already existing somewhere. You just want to concentrate on your business logic, kind of. So if you want to take advantage, like I said, of some of the things that have been, or some stuff that people in the development environment have built, you just want to put it in your projects and like that. So that is what we've done. So like I said, if you scaffold this one, you just make your application ready to take advantage of possibilities. But don't get lazy one. Just trying to import what you can easily write that won't take you minutes. And because you are just learning now, it's also important that you write as much as possible, and also try to package and deploy to npm that people can also use. This can also be this will enhance your profile, instead of you to always be on npm searching what is available and just making them use. It will make your work look standard, and you'll be very fast at deploying applications, because you are not rewriting what is existing. You are just writing what you need in your own business logic. It's cool, but then you have to know how to do it. For instance, if you need any of this, all you need to do is just install them and import them, and you start using them, and like that. First, you need to ensure that you are not importing what is harmful to your project or your system like that, because anyone can go and publish. Inexperienced developer are publishing, so you're going to have to look at the download counts and the last time the person actually published, to know what is good and what is not. So I think it's been a good whole day. So for instance, if I install HTTP server that I wanted to install, which is an npm package, if you look for it here.
So you wrote HTTP server.
I don't know what is wrong with me. So it gave me back what I expect, which is not found. So say npm install, which is HTTP server. This is outside our scope, but I'm just trying to put everything together for you, so so that you still relearn this thing when you are doing React. You relearn it when you are doing React. You relearn it when you are doing Node. But I want you to do it right. So you can see a package has been installed now. If you go to your package.json file, you will see dependencies. HTTP server like that. What that does is actually it helps you to serve your. So let's say in your script, you come here and say you put a star script there and say HTTP server. What's happening? HTTP server, which is this guy here, HTTP server. So this, you can use it to serve your application straight on without depending on this Visual Studio whatever. So for instance, now if I come in here, let me say I stop this guy, I stop this one, and then I'm offline now. I just come here, you know, I've tied the HTTP server to start, npm start. This is a command, npm command. So if I come here and I say npm start, then it calls my HTTP server, gets my file served, you know, it's served to server. Like right now here, anyone on my network, if we are on the same network, everybody can see my application. You know, it serves it on the local IP address. You can see the IP address is 192.168. So if you also want to have a feel, if your phone is connected to the same network as a laptop, you can have a feel of your application on your phone. People within the same network can have access to your application at this IP address. On your computer, you can, you know, have access to it on this address, like that. This is just an example of a package that just serve as a mini server that serves your applications and make it available. Like so, if you look at it here, if you look at it right here, this guy here, the application is just available. So if I put this same IP address on my phone, I'm going to get my application, you know, tested on my phone, and it's going to work pretty well. So like I said, that is that. The video is already too long. There's no point making it longer. So guys, thank you for your time. I'm going to have to break it into 2 or 3 pieces to send it. I'm recording it locally. I know that Mr. Sham is also recording over the network, but sometimes over the network, because of network in and out, it breaks and then the flow, and that's why I actually did not want it as a live class. But I'm just hopeful that this session helps someone. I'm just hopeful that it helps someone.
Mr. Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm done.
Recording stopped.
I hope you are done, sir.
Yes, I'm done.
So which one would you suggest? Would you send the one that you recorded?
I think you, because this, you know, this one will take that one. I think you can send it immediately, Abby.
No, I will have to convert.
Oh, okay. It's still the same process. So I will start converting. Me too. I will break it into 3 so that they can have it into.
So what I did was that I got